Let's take a look at lead scoring in Paminga. I'll go to the Marketing Center and I'll go to lead scoring. Now I'm in a demo instance, but we've got an active scoring rule set here. We can see that it is active. We can create as many as we want and have them run simultaneously. But let's just take a look at this one for a moment. First, I'm going to collapse these and point out that the total score under any rule set is going to be a sum of a contact, like a demographic score, an activity, and an engagement score. So here we have various contact rules, like are they a practitioner? Are they a decision maker? Then when they get 15 points, right? We see that certain rules are enabled, certain rules could be required. For example, I'll add a scoring rule and I'll say company name not blank, right? Now, if you've seen Paminga's segment builder, you'll know what this is about. Here's where I get to choose the conditions that will trigger this rule. This thing's incredible. Unlimited combination of demographic, firmographic, and behavioral. But in this case, all I'm after is a company name. So I'll go to the account condition, look for account name, and say that it is not empty. Boom. I'll hit apply. And now, if the company name is not empty, I'll add some, maybe I'll add 0 points. Or let's take it to 0. I won't add any points. I'm going to make it required for qualification. Okay. We'll come back to that in a moment. So there's a contact scoring rule. Let's go to an activity rule. And here we have feature web pages. Anyone who looks at any of our features gets 3 points. This rule is run automatically. We could run it every 2 hours or whatever we want to do. If I check the conditions there, here we're looking at behavioral. Anyone where their specific page that they viewed does contain /features/ for any duration. So if they at least look at our feature pages, then they're going to get 3 points. Here we have a decaying scoring rule where we're going to subtract 5 points. We're only going to run this every 30 days. I don't know if this is an example or what's going on here, but let's take a look. Okay, if the number of emails they were sent in the last 90 days is greater than 3, and the number of opens in those 90 days is less than 1, I guess exactly equal to 0, they could have done, but whatever. And then the number of website visits is less than 3, and they did not submit any Paminga form from any page at all, and their score is greater than 5. So we've got a fairly complex set of conditions to say if they meet all those, then we're going to go ahead and decay that scoring rule. So we can create as many of these as we want, and I could go back. I'll just go back to lead scoring rule sets. Sorry, I'm right here. And I'll just create a whole new scoring rule set, and I'll just call it example. I could type, and actually I'm going to make sure it's not active. How about that? There we go. So now I've got an example rule set, and I could add all the rules I want. I'm not going to bother doing that. What I'm going to show you is the really cool automation that is triggered called lead scoring thresholds. So here we are looking at our existing lead scoring thresholds. I'll create a new one. I meant to do it from there. I could do it from either side. Automations, triggered, lead scoring thresholds, plus, there we go. Now I'll create example threshold, and I could give it a description. I can only choose from active scoring rule sets, so I'll choose that active scoring rule set. And now it says, do you want to go based off of their total score or those 3 subscores that you saw, contact, activity, or engagement? So say if their total score reaches or exceeds, and I'll make something up, 100 here. And remember, we could mark individual rules required, and all required rules must have been met. And here's whether this is active. If those things are true, then when somebody crosses that threshold, take these actions. So you might well be familiar with Paminga's actions. It's the same UI everywhere you go. So here I could create a lead in Salesforce when they cross that threshold. But I could just as well do so conditionally. I could add a new conditional action where if they meet these conditions, watch the video about audience builder or segment builder if you want to see more about conditions. If they meet these conditions, then create that lead in Salesforce, then enrich that contact with Apollo, then push them onto a Google Ads audience, then unsunset them and add them to a workflow or drip series. Lead scoring thresholds work together hand in hand with lead scoring rule sets. You can create multiple rule sets, run them simultaneously. It's quite something, and it's really easy to get the hang of.